because these little kids have no spiritual guidance. They're not afraid of anything. Not afraid of anything. You know what I mean? See, me, I'm a spiritual person. It's like I went through that phase, but not as heavy as the kids now, because they don't got no respect or nothing. When I was young, I couldn't curse in front of one of the elder ladies in the building and stuff like that. I held the door and it was respected. It was none of that shit. You know what I mean? But it's like these kids now is no spiritual guidance. It's like, you know, like they don't know God. If you knew God straight up and you had a personal relationship, you'll be scared to death because you know what your penalty is going to be. See, you got to realize on earth, this is just a trial.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. Alright fam, what's happening? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying, man. You see the thumbnail, man. You saw the video, man. I really had to think about that when I listened to Ghostface, and that's true, man. You know, the youth didn't really get spirituality. They didn't really get, you know, heaven and hell and choices and consequences and this, that, and the third. And I think about it because my grandparents made sure I went to church and had a relationship with God. But my son's grandparents, no. No. And then I thought about, you know, just in general what I've seen the last, I would say, 20 to 30 years. Like, for a small stretch, I went to Catholic school like in 3rd and 4th grade. And I never forget, you know, when I was in 3rd and 4th grade, we used to say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And also in New Orleans, the Trinity is also, you know, celery, onion, green onion. But that's a different Trinity. That's cooking Trinity. We talking religious Trinity, right? But here's the thing. Grandmother took me to church. Grandmother took me to church. And they taught me about, you know, God and prayer and spirituality. And then I thought about it, and we like, all these kids, they're out of pocket. And it's like, well, they really don't have a relationship with God. And here's the interesting thing. There was a lot of people in my age group, in my generation, whose grandparents and sometimes parents took them to church and got them a relationship with God, and they just wanted to be rebels, and they became rebel parents. You get what I'm saying? And I could say some of our parents rebelled against their parents being so churchy, because, you know, there's some things about the church that has a bad reputation then, and they still do now. So they rebelled against that, and they really kind of walked away from church and then religion. But subsequently, they walked away from spirituality and God. So, you know, what I see now is a bunch of young adults and kids who for some odd reason, they really play this game, and they act like they don't know the difference between right and wrong, which they do. But what they're not accustomed to is the consequences for wrong. It's always oh, well, hold up, I'm going through something. This is like, no. You know, we learn fire and brimstone and the nuance and this, that, and the third. And I got to blame that on us as parents and our parents who are grandparents, because we let these kids not have a relationship with God, and then wonder why they act so, let's just say, godless, and wonder why people, you know, they turn to God after they did all the devilish things, and it's like that. That's not how this works. You know, and some people will go, well, you know, people, you know, in your time, back in when you were younger, they were out of pocket and religious. That didn't even make sense. It's like, yeah. And they knew exactly how it was going to end. That was the difference. Like, they made a choice, and they say, you know what, I wasn't raised like this. I was raised in this environment. I was raised in that environment. I know better, but I'm not doing better, and I know this is not going to end well. But now you have people who lack spirituality actually think it's going to be a happy ending. And that's the part that gets everybody, up in arms. Like, are you serious? Where did you learn this? And it's like, well, at home is where the young folks learn that, there is no right and wrong. There's just a bunch of gray area. Possibly, maybe, perhaps, right? So I'm not going to say they're not scared of nothing like Ghost said, because they scared. They scared. You know, you wouldn't have so many people so quick to be a killer and have guns and long clips and everywhere they gotta go, everywhere they go, they're upset and nervous and thinking something's gonna happen. That's fear all day long. That's just fear all day long. But when it comes to God, spirituality is gone, man. And unfortunately, like, we have a generation, or it's not just a generation, a era of prodigal sons and daughters. And we're trying to push that off on something else, but you got, prodigal parents who have prodigal kids, and then the prodigal parents act brand new because they stepped away from God, and everything was cool the way they were doing it, and now the kid goes down a bad path because they teaching all kind of rebellion, and now, and the grandparents can't get it in line because the grandparents are prodigal grandparents. So then you got to ask the question, like, okay, so I'm just using that 3 generation reference. If 3 generations don't have a relationship with God, what kind of society do you see? Now, I saw the picture of the BET Awards, and they got extra ratchet and thought it right by Bobby Jones, and it's like, I don't even know if some of the people knew who Bobby Jones was. Yeah, well, it's the culture. The culture is like this. Like, you right by the church folks cutting up. Oh boy. But whatever. And then people look at God as like, he gonna bless me for my shenanigans, and that's becoming a whole thing. And I'm gonna have to talk about that in a different video because that needs its own little thing. But tell me what you think. Like, do you think that the kids actually have a relationship with God? Because I don't. I think that's what changed. But like I said, tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.